What's going on, casters? Welcome back to another ECL Season 2. I believe this is week 4. I've had a busy week, so I haven't gotten a whole lot of chance to prepare, but I have gotten some playtests with what I put together under my belt, and I do feel fairly confident going into this one. So let's go over what our opponent could have, and let's go over our deck profile right after that. So starting off, our opponent has good recursion. Our opponent has Ambrosia, our opponent has Sluggle. That's just all around good recursion. They could definitely outpace us if we let that get away. Our opponent also has very good board control with Foamy. Foamy being a body you can place out there and basically either bait your opponent into attacking or just attacking yourself and going into something even stronger. Foamy is absolutely amazing, definitely a staple in water, so I definitely plan to see that. Mustation is also a staple as well. Then we have the Galaxy combo as well, with water being a heavily defensive based. Galaxy is very highly likely to be seen. Then we have Small Tuga. Small Tuga could get you out the Necrof, which could outpace us as far as numbers. There's a 6 body, a 5 body, 5 body, 5 body, so very high Elestral rates there, Elestral attack and defense rates there. Our opponent could be going burn this week. If that's the case, we could see the Krakatuga. The Krakatuga makes a good combination of the water and fire, which is our opponent, Eagle the Duck's, 2 main sources of elements. So very likely that we could see this. Our opponent could go heavy fire. We've seen them go heavy fire in prior weeks and go the Necrof Blazerous route. That could be a thing as well. Our opponent could go similar to what Wirtz did to us week 1. They could go with the Ivory strategy. I kind of feel like that's a pretty likely thing that could happen if Eagle has been paying attention to those games. We could see the Eruption. Either way, whether they play the Krakatuga or not, Eruption could be a card that they just run just so they can burn us for some damage. But with us playing fire as well, and us going pretty fire heavy the past couple weeks, I feel like if they really look into our deck profiles, they will be scared that we will be fire heavy this week. So I do think that they will side deck Eruption. I don't know if Eagle will actually put it in the deck starting first off or not. And then we've got, of course, the Water Poseidon. With the Trident lock, Trident of Poseidon, and Poseidon equals no counter runes, which would be very detrimental to us for this particular build. I know our opponent has kind of strayed away from Trident of Poseidon. I feel like he thinks that most people will focus on this, so he tries to surprise them with something else like Blazerous or something like that. So. And then, of course, the Tsunami, which is definitely going to be seen in the deck. I think those are our main concerns there. I don't really feel too concerned with the Poseidon and Trident lock because we do have the P-Gust and removal there. Krakatuga could be that 9 body is very tough to get over in my deck. So if that's the case, we do have things in our side deck for that. But I think our main sources of trouble here will come from these 4 guys here. If our opponent can outpace us fast enough on the board, then that's just going to equal us to lose. I don't necessarily see that happening too fast, since you can only play 1 Elestral per turn with these guys. They would have to get very, very lucky and also be running the Trident lock at the same time. I really don't want to sound too confident in this one because it's very likely we could still lose. Our opponent is Eagle the Duck, and that is nothing to laugh at. I would argue that, at least from what I've seen, I haven't actually seen Luck play too often. LUC Luck, I haven't seen him play too often. But I would say that Wirtz, Red Baron, and Eagle are definitely ones we should be focusing on in this particular case, because they are used to this sort of battling. They've been doing it longer than most of us in here. So I do think that Eagle is definitely a fierce opponent that we should not take lightly. So, but with that being said, I do feel fairly confident in our chances of winning. Like I said, I've done some play matches, I've done some play tests. This is being recorded literally the night before we go to our clash, and I gotta say I feel fairly confident with our build. So let's go ahead and go over our build. Alright, so starting off with the star of the show, we're going to be running 3 Exaltair. We're going to be pretty wind heavy this week, and Exaltair is going to be our star of the show. He's going to be the card that we want to see turn 1. We want to put pressure on our opponent turn 1 and make them start playing cautiously, not be too aggressive, but obviously make them see that Exaltair is going to be a problem for them. So he's a very fast card, lots of fast early damage, and a lot of times our opponent can't really deal with that too much, especially with our opponent not having a lot of back row removal. So the Trident Lock would be the best case scenario for our opponent to go against us if you had to ask me, from me running this deck a few times and really feeling it out. I would say that if our opponent goes Trident Lock, we will probably have a little bit of an issue. Maybe not as much as I might think, but man, without back row removal, it's probably going to be pretty tough unless we just draw really badly. That's definitely a thing that could happen. That's what happened with our games and with Red Baron. We didn't see any of our pieces against Red Baron, and that hurt us astronomically. So this 100% could be the same case here. We could just draw very, very poorly. But if we see our pieces, I am very confident in our chances. So 3 Exaltair, 3 Sorlet. Sorlet is just the answer to everything in this game, pretty much. Sorlet is just an absolutely amazing 1-drop. I would say Sorlet is pretty much on par with Viserys as far as just turn 1 early game pressure, magic numbers, amazing ability. Like, just you can't beat the cards with as far as a 1-drop. They're just amazing. Sorlet's going to be our out to just about everything. Our opponent's going to be swapping their attack and defense, and that's going to be our answer to that. Sorlet just says, no, you go to the other position that we want your Elestral, and then we're going to attack over it that way. So, and then we're going to be running 3 Nekruff. 3 Nekruff because he is a 5 body as well. And then he deals a point of burn damage if he does destroy an Elestral as well. So there's that. Sorry, sorry, my voice is trying to go out. And then and then we have 2 Pigust. 2 Pigust because we don't really need to see 3. I feel like 3 would be too cloggy. We need more pressure. So we want to see our main turn 1 card. And then we want to see cards that will combat our opponent and their magic numbers that they're going to have. So we want the pressure here. We want the early pressure and absolutely amazing Nexus capabilities with this. But then we want Pigust to back us up and get rid of their back row and be able to do some crazy shenanigans with play Pigust and Nexus onto it, just to get rid of a bunch of things. And then a similar case with Kinleo. Kinleo, in case we need to destroy something in particular, if their Krakatuga or their Blazerus is just getting out of hand, we can easily play Kinleo and maybe play Aeolus or the Stadium card or something like that to put a fire on, just so we can get rid of that Elestral that's giving us trouble. So with a 3 body, he's not going to be very tough. Same for Pigust. And we don't want to flood our Elestrals with too many low attack or defense cards. So that's why it's 3-3-3-2-2, and that is actually going to be all of our Elestrals. We're only running about 13 Elestrals this time. So very, very rune heavy in this build. So we'll see if it pays off. I've been having a lot of fun with this build, actually. This is my version of just burn deck with the wind cards. And I absolutely love it. I've been dying to play this version of the of my elements. So I'm very, very hyped for that. Now on to the runes. We're going to be running 3 Aeolus. We want to see Aeolus turn 1. Hopefully we get an Aeolus and an Exaltair in our hand turn 1 with some counter runes, and we are good to go. We are set and off to the races, and we are going to make sure our opponent just feels the burn, if that's the case. So you may see us mulligan, maybe once, maybe twice. I've even done it 3 times and gotten away with that. So it's possible. Definitely very, very good here, especially turn 1 when you can play Aeolus and put 4 on him, and then not have to worry about your opponent because our opponent doesn't have any back row removal. So at least as far as I recall, I could be missing something like I did with the Ivory against Wirtz, but I don't think that's the case in this particular scenario. So I'm very excited to have Aeolus. And then we're going to be running 2 of the Island of Aeolia as well, so that our wind cards can get a boost, and we can Nexus if we need to. So we have 5 cards that we can Nexus from, other than just other Elestrals as well. So that helps out a ton. And then of course, you've seen it in every profile. We run 3 Ambrosia. A lot of people, especially our past opponent, Red Baron and Eagle the Duck himself as well, they don't usually run 3 Ambrosia. A lot of times they focus on other cards rather than Ambrosia, which in this particular case makes sense because our opponent does have the Sluggle option as well, but I think Ambrosia is just a 3 of in every deck. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but there's that. And then of course, I've sworn by it every week. We run 3 Nectar of the Gods, 2 Drops of Lith, and 2 Circle the Sky. We are running 7 different draw powers in this particular build because we do want to see the Exaltair, we do want to see the Aeolus, we do want to see our Sorlet, we do want to see our P-Gust. We want to see all these pieces as soon as possible. But not only that, we want to make sure that we have enough counter runes on the field to not only combat our opponent, but also keep pressure off of us as well. So we want as much draw power as possible so that we can make sure that we get all of our pieces and protection for those pieces. All right, and then speaking of protection, we run a heavy counter rune package this week. We are running the 3 Poison Tipped Arrow, 3 Shield of Achilles, 3 Gorgon's Gaze, and 3 Helios's Chariot Ride. Absolutely enormous counter rune package for us this week. I don't usually run such a high counter rune package. It was kind of uncomfortable at first to run it this way. But I feel like, especially with our opponent and what they can run, this is absolutely optimal, and it will benefit us astronomically. And I think that this is the perfect ratio for this particular matchup. I could be wrong, as I've said previously in this video. Our opponent could have the Trident Lock, and in that case, that would be something we would have to account for with our side deck. But with that being said, that's going to be the main deck for this particular build. I'm absolutely ecstatic to be able to play this. I love Wind Burn. It's very, very fun. Hopefully we can at least squeak out a couple wins, maybe even get a quick 2-0, maybe. I will say that the win ratio is fairly high with this deck as far as my playtesting with it. So I'm looking forward to it quite a bit, and I hope that I can do you guys proud this week. I definitely would love a win over the original cast of the ECL. So far we've been falling a bit behind on that one, but I hope this week we can go ahead and pick that back up and get it going for you guys and have a really great score coming out of these first 4 weeks. But with that being said, let's go ahead and go into the spirits. This week we are running a high-low package, of course. We are running the low package of 6 Vipyro, 6 Fire Spirits, just because we want to see these guys for our Necruffs and still have the capability to maybe play 1 or 2 of our Kinleo if we have to, as well as having something that we could misenchant with as well. But not only that, we want to be able to sort of get rid of these guys for damage or get rid of these guys for expenses, just so that we don't have to focus too heavily on our wind, because our wind is pretty much our win con in this particular scenario. So with that being said, 6 fire and 14 wind. So very high on the wind there. But yeah, that's going to be it for the spirits. And then our side deck. We are going to be running 2 Glidesdale. Shout out to Magic Mula or Nexus Elestrals, because Glidesdale is absolutely a phenomenal card. We could easily get it out onto our field if we have to. And it could also easily get over things like Blazerus or Krakatuga, because of its ability to get up to 12 attack by just expending 1 wind spirit. So very, very cool there. Love the full art artwork too as well. So just a very cool card, very simple, easy to do. Then we're running 2 Hephaestus, just in case we feel like we might need more of Kinleo's expertise. We would be running 2 Hephaestus. If we feel like the Krakatuga is on the field and it's doing a lot of work, we also have the 2 hammers as well we could put in to stop it from destroying our Elestrals. Then we have the extra Kinleo in case we need that pressure as well. Then we have the 3 resting on your laurels, because if our opponent does have the Krakatuga, then they will definitely be having 2 more spirits than us at some point or another, so that'd be very, very easy to do there. And then we have 2 Alter the Stars, just because honestly I didn't really know what to do with this side deck. I knew I wanted the Glidesdale, and the hammers only made sense. So basically I was just like, resting on your laurels and Alter the Stars. I don't really plan on having to dip into the side deck for this week, but if I do, I wanted to make sure that it made at least a little sense to be able to do some of this stuff. So worst case scenario, this alters and then we get into a Glidesdale easier that way or something like that. So that's gonna be the side deck. Alright, so with that being said, that's going to be my week 4 deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys would change. Let me know what you guys have had experience with a matchup like this in the past. Let me know what you guys would do for a matchup like this in the future. And yeah, hopefully we do well this week, and I hope I can do you guys proud this week. With that being said, I'm going to get the heck out of here. Have a great day. Peace.